Good morning, my name is Jay and I am coming to you from Scottsdale, Arizona. I just reached the peak of Pinnacle Peak mountain range and I thought I'd just drop in, say good morning, good evening, depending on where you are coming in from this morning or evening. I wanted to do a quick check-in and just share a little bit about how my day went yesterday and how I'm feeling today. Yesterday was a day of lessons and learnings. I had made the decision to back off on my exercise routine, my spiritual practice through exercise, but I thought perhaps if I drove out to the mountain and sat at the bottom, I would be able to achieve the same level of consciousness that I typically do when I'm walking the trail and hiking. And it didn't happen for me. I actually I went right into the vortex of picking up emails, and I went to work. And every time I was like, I gotta stop working, I gotta just sit here and go into prayer meditation. I was not able to do that. And eventually I surrendered, I gave up, and after about 2 hours of working at the bottom of the mountain, I went back home. And then I started my day, continued my day of work, and I worked the majority of the day, and I also was working on a special project that Mary and I are tackling together. And what happened was, the longer the day went and the longer I tried to navigate through some new software to create some designs, I got frustrated, I got cranky. I was just not in a good space or place. And that went on for about 4 hours. And finally, I surrendered again and I said, okay, I gotta stop, I gotta walk away and just do something for myself. And so at about 3 o'clock, I went down to the pool and I laid there for a while. I had my music on at, well, it wasn't my typical music, but it was good music. And I eventually went into the pool and I did about 2.5, 3 laps. And that helped me. And then I rounded that out at 5 o'clock. A friend of mine, John Fiore, who's been on my show, Real Men, Real Talk, last month or so ago, he offered to do an EFT session with me, which I had never done before. And it's a holistic approach to working through and healing your mind, body, and soul. And I didn't ask him when I went into it, like, how long we were going to be doing this EFT work. But I presume my story was it would be 30 minutes to an hour at most. Well, at an hour and 40 minutes, he was still going at it with me. And I was wiped out. I was just exhausted from the experience. It was an amazing experience, but just the totality of my day, having not done the typical self-care that I do in the morning, had taken me to a level that, energy level that I acknowledged to John. I said, look, John, I'm spent. I've got nothing left to give. And so we abandoned the EFT session, but it was a great experience, and I'm going to incorporate EFT practice into part of my spiritual practice and healing process. And then I decided to go back to Costco for the 3rd time in 3 or 4 days and finally make the investment in this superfood, green, pure powder, organic product that most people have not heard of. It's relatively new in the United States. But I learned about it. I also confirmed that Dwayne Hill, who had self-healed himself from his prostate cancer, he also had been on my show last month, had actually planted this particular plant in his yard in St. Thomas, and he was using that on a daily basis to help him heal from prostate cancer. And he believes that that was a huge part of his healing process. And so I jumped in, I invested in the product. I came home and I added it to, it's just a powder. I added it to 10 ounces of water. It is not intended for water. It's intended for smoothies, salads, soups, but obviously I'm not eating any of those things right now, so I decided to just put it into my water. Now the taste was not what I'd say good. It tasted like a plant food. However, I pushed through it because I knew after I did all my research on this particular plant, the benefits it would have to me, and it would also afford me the ability to abort taking a juicing every day. I really did not want to be doing that. And so I'm going to get all my nutrients and minerals out of this superfood in my water. And I will just do juicing anywhere from any 3 to 5 day period. I just assess it. So yesterday I did not juice. I just put the green mix in my water, and I sensed within an hour my energy level jumped. Now of course this was like at 9 o'clock last night, and I went to sleep. I fell asleep at about 11, and at 2:15 I woke up. I popped up, and it was like energy level was like lightning had hit me, and I could not fall back to sleep. I laid in bed, I prayed, I meditated, and then a lot of clarity and awareness came to me. So I decided to just start to journal all the thoughts that were coming to me. And so I journaled, and this is the first time I journaled in the middle of the night. And I stayed in bed. I finished journaling, and at about 4:30 or so, I decided to start to get my body out of bed. And so that's what I did. I started my day. I checked my weight. I'm down a pound from yesterday. My blood pressure was solid. It was strong. Have not been on blood pressure pills since I started my fast. It's been a miracle in itself. I also noticed that I've had this injury on my bicep. I believe I teared something about 4 or 5 months ago riding my Strider at the beach. Not riding it, but lifting it out of my car. And I haven't been able to lay on my left side and sleep at night. And so I've been able to lay on my left side without pain, which is a miracle, another miracle that something's going on. There's some healing going on in my tissue, in my bicep right now. Whoever's on with me, thank you so much for joining me. Suzanne, thank you so much for being here. Dina, I appreciate you being here. Steve, thank you for joining me this morning. Lisa, thanks for hopping on. Adele from South Africa, thank you so much for joining me today. Simon Gonzalez, I love you. Where are you, buddy? I miss you. Give me a holla, please. Thanks for checking up and checking on and being on. Aaron, thanks for being here this morning. Chris Nichols, thanks for being here as well. So that's where I'm at. I decided this morning to take my green mix this morning, first thing, in my first 20 ounces of water. So I downed that. I got it out of the way. It's done. And then I made another decision at 2:15 this morning, which was that I had only, from an exercise standpoint, I hiked a couple of days ago, I believe it was day 5, up to the peak, and then I came back down. It took me an hour. It's usually a 30-minute hike, and I usually go twice as far. But I made the decision that day, on day 5, to only get to the top and turn around, because I felt that that's what intuition told me. And then I backed off, and in my head, my thinking was, they say you shouldn't exercise while you're fasting, and you just need to rest. And that's the general consensus. And I'll tell you what, one of the challenges I have today is listening to other people. I like to do my research and then turn it over to my divine and wait for the intuition to come from within, the wisdom. And yesterday, this morning at 2:15, the wisdom came to me, which is, actually it came to me when I was talking to John at the back end of my EFT session. And what that wisdom was is that exercise for me is not a strain. I prepared for this. I spent 7 days a week, 365 days a year, for just under 3 years, 35 months, exercising daily, riding my bike anywhere from 10 to 22 miles every morning. And then in the last 2 months, I up-leveled my exercise and started doing these extreme hikes. And so I've lost, well, up until my fast, I'd lost 58 pounds. And so I realized that I just need to listen to my body. When I hiked the other day, I did not feel any effects of that hike. I did not feel like I had overdone it, like I had compromised my energy, like I had compromised my body, my mind, or my soul in any way. So like, why wouldn't I hike? Why wouldn't I do what fills me up and fuels me up? As long as I have my water bladder literally in my mouth about 95% of the time. The issue is that I don't want to dehydrate, obviously. But the second issue is that I don't want to lose muscle mass in my legs, which is so important over the next now 23 days. Yes, I hit day 7, water fast, no solid foods. I am excited. I am energized this morning. I feel good. I feel good. Whew. I feel good with my decision to listen to my body and listen to my intuition and stop listening to people on the outside that I believe for the most part are coming to me with love, from a place of love, but they're also coming to me from a place of either fear and or their belief system based on Western medicine. And I tell you what, honestly, I would prefer people that are in fear hold it to themselves and don't put it out on me. Because right now what I need is positive energy, positive thoughts, positive affirmations, and agape love. That's what I need right now. I don't need to listen to people's fears and questioning if what I'm doing is right, questioning if this is my will or God's will. This is the decision that I made after I spent months in prayer on this, and I feel good about it. I checked with my doctor, my homeopathic doctor. He endorsed it. He said, no problem. The only thing that may happen is you may lose some muscle mass. And you know what? I'm good with that. Right now, I'm losing a hell of a lot more fat than muscle mass. And whatever I lose, I'll gain back. This isn't forever. This is 23 more days. And after that, I'm going to be pure, 100% vegan, and I'll put the weight back. But this intention is to reverse my autoimmune disorder, to reverse the blood clotting that's going on in my aorta, 25%. It's to reverse the 49% clotting in my left ventricle artery to my heart. It's to reverse the blood pressure that I was still on a pill for. It was to reverse stabilizing my cholesterol. It still peaks and kind of comes and goes, but consistent in my triglycerides are down at 82. And my other lipid panel levels are good except for one, so I'm doing it for that. And of course, they recently found a nodule on my lower left lung, and so I'm in this to win this. I'm in this to reverse and heal 100% of my body. Now I understand that I may not achieve all of my goals the first time around, and if that's the case, then that's just how it's supposed to be. And if that's what ends up happening, then it just means that I may do it again. You know, it's not a one-time shot. I've been doing intermittent fasting now for about 7-8 months, and that also helped prepare me for this. So I came in great shape, even though I've got some, let's say, medical diagnoses. I'm in good shape. I'm in good shape mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. I prepared for this. I was ready for it. And those of you that have been inspired by my journey and decided to jump in and do some type of fast of their own, I applaud you for having the courage to do that. I applaud you for taking control of your own health, of your own life, and listening to your own intuition. Gerald Ann, God bless you. I love you. This is not the first time you're jumping in. I know you did a water fast many years ago, but you jumped in. You're on day 5. You're gonna start with 7 days, and this morning, Gerald Ann told me that she's gonna go 21 days. God bless you. I love you for that. I am so excited that you're on this journey with me. I've also got Mary on this journey with me. I believe there's 2 more people right now I cannot recall who you are. If you're on this live with me right now, go ahead and share a comment. If you're live with me, thank you for joining me this morning. Annette, thanks for joining me. Hello, Annette. And also, let me know where you're coming in from, what state or country. Hipri, thank you for joining me. Prashant, thank you so much. Caitlin, thanks for watching. Wanumam, thank you so much. Cynthia, thanks for being here. Nikki, thank you so much. Thank you for the beautiful comment. Thanks for the hearts. Thanks for the love. Cynthia, thank you so much. In any event, I'm going to jump off. I'm going to start my decline off the mountain and then get my day going. But I'll tell you what, here's my closing thoughts. When I get influenced by the external, people, places, and things, it doesn't help me, it actually sets me back. When I get influenced by my own thoughts, it doesn't help me, it sets me back. What helps me is when I quiet my mind and I go internally, I go inside. I pray, I meditate, and I listen, I wait for the consciousness to pop, consciousness to come to the surface, and just trust my own intuition. That's where the answers lie. The answers do not lie in external people, places, and things, including my own thoughts. That's the lesson. And the second lesson is self-care is the most important thing for myself and for you. The fact that I didn't take care of myself yesterday morning, I didn't get to prayer, I didn't get a meditation, I went right to work. And I hadn't done that in months. And boy, did I feel the effect of that. It took me out yesterday. It took me out. I didn't like my behavior. I didn't like the way I was, my irritability, my crankiness, my frustration. And unfortunately, Mary had to encounter it. It wasn't directed at her, and she knew that. She was just, of course, the angel that she always is. She just accepted that I was right where I was at. We got through it, but the lessons just keep coming at me. I just got to show up, and when I show up, boy, my life just continues to change. The blessing and gifts just keep coming at me. And so with that, I'm going to jump off. Have a beautiful day, beautiful evening, beautiful rest, wherever you are coming in from, in the United States or overseas. John Harrison, thank you for joining me from Georgia. Appreciate you checking in this morning. If you're catching the back end of it, this will be on replay so you can listen to my entire check-in. Day 7, water fast, 7.5 pounds lost. I'm off my high blood pressure pills. It appears my bicep injury is healing significantly. I was able to sleep on my left side the last 2 nights. My energy level has skyrocketed this morning once I added a pure organic superfood. It's just that. There's no additives in it. There's only one item in it, and it's the leaf extract, the leaf powder form that I added to my water. And that's what I got. I'm just excited for where I'm at. Be super thrilled when 5:30 rolls around, and it'll be the full 24 hours of day 7. But that's the lessons that I learned. If you're thinking about fasting, you want more information, I'm happy to send me a PM. I'm happy to send you some links that I watched, some of the research I did. If you're interested to learn more about the superpower food, I'm happy to share that with you offline as well. So that's what I got. Have a beautiful day, no matter where you're at. And one last comment, as always, the most important thing you could do is do some self-care today. Do some self-care. Take time for yourself. Put down that to-do list. Put down your responsibilities. Because we have it kind of messed up in this country, at least in the U.S. We think like our responsibilities are to other people, places, and things, to our employers, to our family members, to our friends. That is not the most important thing we have. That's not the most important responsibility we have, is to ourselves, to take care of ourselves. and we don't even know what that looks like. Where do we begin? But we got to begin somewhere. So when we take care of ourselves, what I learned is self-care was a gateway to self-love. And once I understood that, I just wouldn't let that go. I grabbed onto it and I ran with it every single day for the past 35 months. And through self-care and a gateway to self-love, and I finally learned how to love myself, I was finally, for the first time in my life, I was able to learn how to love people in a healthy way. That's something that I lacked, unfortunately, in my life. But today, I work really hard at being present for myself and being present for others. With that, Jen Foster, thanks for picking up my live. Thank you so much. Vibing High, Jay, I speak it. Thank you so much. If you missed the full live, you can catch it on replay. Take care. Catch you. Check in maybe tomorrow.